There it stands, the shard, a blade of crystal and steel slicing skyward, born from ambition, framed by history. At 309.6 meters, it doesn't just scrape the sky, it punctures it, rising like a beacon where medieval alleys once tangled. Why here? Why now? Because London needed a crown jewel for the 21st century, a vertical declaration that the city still commands the future. And beneath this tower's mirrored skin lies a world not just of glass offices and Michelin stars, but secret boardroom wars, sky-high protests, and clandestine adventures that defy gravity. The Shard is more than a building. It's a 95-story myth machine, a monument to financial empires, technological daring, and the relentless climb of human ambition. Behind 11,000 panels of shimmering glass lie stories of power, protest, and the profound question, what does it mean to conquer the sky? Before the sky knew its blade, the ground bore its burden. The Shard rose from rubble, from a tired slice of Southwark, where soot-streaked offices and forgotten alleyways whispered of the past. It began as a vision by architect Renzo Piano, of lightness, transparency, and vertical cities yet to come. They called it arrogant. They feared it would dominate, disrupt, disfigure the skyline. But opposition only sharpened the tower's resolve, until steel kissed the clouds and cranes hoisted dreams faster than doubters could shout them down. Not a single-use monolith, but a vertical city, a place where you could sleep, eat, work, recover, and broadcast to the world without ever touching ground. Every floor stitched into the next like organs in a glass and steel creature. It wasn't just a building, it was a self-contained ecosystem. Law firms inked deals beneath starched collars. Journalists beamed global headlines through fiber-optic veins. And somewhere, 20 stories above them, chefs flame duck all orange while billionaires sip rare vintages overlooking Tower Bridge. The Shard became a magnet for power, corporate, culinary, and cultural. From the 72nd floor, you don't just see London. You hear its breath, feel its pulse. From the eye of the Shard, history and modernity unravel in panorama, cathedrals, cranes, secrets. And on certain days, you feel as though you're floating above time itself. But even glass casts a shadow. Beneath the shimmer of luxury, the tower holds secrets, restricted zones, whispered negotiations, guests who check in but never truly leave a mark. The higher you build, the more you must hide. They came like ghosts, urban explorers, renegades, base jumpers. Some climbed to conquer, others to protest, and a few simply to feel the thin air where no one was meant to linger. The Shard became more than a monument. It became a dare. 6 women against a titan of glass, climbing 310 meters in protest of Arctic oil drilling. With every floor they passed, they climbed through headlines, security lockdowns, and the tension between capitalism and conscience. Their flag wasn't just cloth, it was a challenge to power itself. The Shard stands as both monument and mirror, a triumph of design and a lightning rod for debate. Is it a symbol of renewal or excess? A crown jewel or a gilded cage? That depends on which floor you stand on and which way you look. They say when the Shard sleeps, it murmurs. Security staff whisper of shapes caught between floors, reflections that move against the light, doors that open to no one. It's not haunted by spirits, perhaps, but by memory of what was displaced and what it became. Beneath the known, there is the unlisted. Staff refer to it only as Floor Zero, a substructure older than the tower itself, relic of a time before glass and ambition. What runs beneath the Shard isn't mapped on tourist guides, and that's exactly how some prefer it. Renzo Piano called it a shard of glass emerging from the river. But was it a vision or a challenge to time itself? In chasing transparency, did he create a beacon or expose the city to something it hadn't yet earned the right to see? With 44 lifts and 306 surveillance points, the Shard doesn't blink, it watches. A luxury icon on the outside, a layered sensor net within. For some, it's the jewel of a connected city. For others, its big brother wrapped in architectural couture. Step inside on a bright morning, and you're not entering a workplace, you're entering a sanctuary of light. They call it the glass cathedral effect. Something about the height, the silence, the light, it makes even the powerful feel like pilgrims. Since it rose, the Shard has appeared in nightmares. A constant backdrop in dystopian cinema, sketched into apocalyptic futures, imagined as both beacon and target. Perhaps that's what happens when a city builds a spire so tall, the world starts writing its fall. The official name may be British, but the money comes from elsewhere. The Shard is 95% Qatari-owned, its very foundations funded by faraway interests. It begs the question, when a tower watches a city, who watches the tower? It reflects London, and yet it is not London. It hovers in the skyline like a prophecy, part sword, part beacon, part blade of judgment. The Shard has become more than a building. It is London's ambition and its anxiety made solid. Some claim that if you stare at the Shard long enough, your reflection blinks first. Its panels don't just mirror reality, they bend it, like the building sees something unfinished in you. Every night at exactly 3:03 a.m., something flickers at the tip. Engineers say it's standard calibration. But why does it pulse like a heartbeat, and why does it only stop when someone looks directly at it? In 2017, a window on the 47th floor was gone. Not shattered, not removed, just missing. It returned before maintenance could reach it, and the footage was quietly erased from public servers. A lift technician once reported an elevator that moved for 33 minutes straight. It didn't open. It didn't stop. When the doors finally slid apart, he was back on the same floor, but the clock said 4 hours had passed. Buried in Renzo Piano's archives were blueprints no one remembers submitting. Designs that include sublevels that were never constructed, or were they? And in the margins, the word speculum scribbled again and again, the Latin for mirror. Photographers have noticed it for years. Faces and reflections move slower, sometimes out of sync. One child's photo showed her smiling in the mirror, while in real life, she wasn't. Up on the 95th floor, there's a sound only certain people can hear. A frequency that isn't present in any recording. And those who hear it often report vertigo, vivid dreams, or the sudden urge to look down. No one's supposed to live on floor 68. Yet once a year, someone reports seeing a figure there, always the same coat, same motion. Security arrives to find nothing, and the camera footage? Corrupted. Always. Ancient druids mapped sacred lines of energy, ley lines. The Shard's coordinates align perfectly with 3. Coincidence, or did it rise here because of that? Geometry has memory, and memory always returns. What if the Shard wasn't just built, but called into being? A modern obelisk, a summoning spike. Maybe it's not watching us. Maybe it's waiting. It began with overlays, map after map, signal after signal, all pointing to one thing: convergence. Energy, memory, intent. The Shard isn't just a tower. It's the keystone in a city-wide design. When asked about the spire, he stopped mid-sentence. There's something I shouldn't say. He never mentioned it again. Some say he received a letter. Others say he dreamed of it long before the commission. From South Bank to Shoreditch, reflections of the Shard appear where they shouldn't. Like it's etching itself across the city. Not just in stone, but in memory, light, and language. Unofficial blueprints reveal subbasements, miles deeper than bedrock. A team once went down to confirm. They didn't come back up. Only their camera returned. Footage corrupted, except the last frame. A figure standing, waiting. March 17th, 2022. At midnight, every corner of London pulsed with sound. A low, harmonic resonance. Phones recorded it, but no official source claimed it. The only commonality? The sound came from the Shard. Tourists began posting odd captures, faces, figures, silhouettes in the glass. But when security reviewed it in real time, the footage showed nothing. Are they imprints? Or are they watching us? The infinite elevator returned, this time not to a technician, but to a visitor. They disappeared for 2 weeks. When they came back, they couldn't speak. Only wrote one sentence again and again. It knows where you are. An anonymous collective, the Watchers, meets every week to document changes in the shard. Slight shifts, new lights, a growing presence. One member claims the top floor changes shape when no one looks directly at it. When reversed, the tower's blueprint matches an ancient alchemical symbol used to bind or summon divine intelligence. This wasn't coincidence. The floor plan isn't just efficient, it's ritualistic. The hum became structured. A signal. Translated from Morse, it reads, "We are not alone in the glass." But who's sending it, and why now? Some physicists believe the shard isn't just interacting with space, but time. Apparitions. Looping events. Repeated voices. A vertical fracture not just in architecture, but in continuity itself. Certain lights in the building never go out. They don't respond to the grid. Staff say no one's there, but sometimes people inside wave back. Beneath the structure lie names, etched into its bones. Names not found in any registry but whispered in old London legends. They weren't workers. They were witnesses. Even in thermal scans, something looks back, always facing you. Even when the building is empty, the heat signature is there, waiting like an open eye. And then the stream stopped. One signal, one symbol, a voice no one could trace. But everyone watching it felt the same thing. The story isn't ending. It's activating. It still stands, still gleaming, still watching, like a monument not to the future, but to something older. Something returned. The investigation was quietly sealed. Files vanished. Interviews disappeared. Those who asked too much were reassigned or rewired. The shard doesn't just rewrite memory. It curates it. There are still those who remember. Not in words, but in dreams. Recurring ones. The tower. The light. The voices. Always the same ending. A door opens where there shouldn't be one. They found one last sketch unpublished. The shard drawn upside down, like a dagger sinking into the earth. Beneath it, a spiral, a maze, or perhaps to lock. Radio technicians still log signals. Always at the same time. Always the same pulse. No one responds. But one day, someone might. Radio technicians still log signals. Always at the same time. Always the same pulse. No one responds. But one day, someone might. Even the river remembers. Every morning, it mirrors the tower, except for one flicker. A missing pane. A skipped beat. As if something in the reflection moves separately. Millions visit. They look out. But sometimes someone looks in and stops smiling and stares, as if they hear something the rest of us don't. New scans show layers beneath the foundation. Too symmetrical. Too ancient. No one's allowed to dig anymore. Not since the machines stopped working down there. Each pane tells its own truth. One shows the present. One the past. Others aren't from here at all. They're windows. But not just for us. They say it's finished. But something at the top keeps changing. Architects won't talk. Engineers quit. And the cranes? Still there. Still waiting. A whisper network emerged. Coders, dreamers, believers. They swap footage, audio, dreams. Not to explain the shard, but to warn others. Something in the glass is listening. It has become a cathedral. Not of faith, but of presence, of mystery, of something ancient wearing modern skin. Someone mailed a postcard from a floor that doesn't exist. The handwriting matched someone presumed missing since 2014. No fingerprints, just a smudge shaped like an eye. Watch closely and you'll feel it. The lights don't just flicker. They pulse. The building breathes. But not like us. We came to understand it. We failed. The shard isn't a story. It's a signal. And somewhere in the glass, something's still listening.